Toss time, game 2, day 3 from BPL's inaugural Liberty Cup. Umpires as well as the skippers making it out to the center. To a very exciting contest on hand in pursuit of the semifinals tomorrow. Welcome. You have to be facing.
You change your spot, come on.
Yeah. They keep moving this.
That's not fair.
It's not fair.
Not fair. Just joking.
He's here? Doesn't matter if I go early morning down. So he's.
Heads is the call from the Kings, and heads. Kings winning the toss and deciding to bat.
Damn it, they decided to bat.
That's a good thing.
It means it's going to be a long game.
No.
It's going to be a long game.
Once again, Kings winning the toss against the Incredibles and choosing to bat.
Is there a way, once you guys get a chance, put it online, YouTube, whatever, the tomorrow's and end of thing? We can put schedules. Yeah. So the A1 versus the ARC versus blah blah.
वो दे दो आप कर देंगे स्लाइड बना देंगे उसमें क्या स्लाइड बना देंगे perfect वो schedule बना दो
After an incredibly hot and humid day, a moment of relief, nice breeze through to the ground.
That is good. And I'll do it on social media and stuff like that.
बहुत अच्छा schedule है आपका कल
Yeah. They're also complaining, but you know we didn't get to play in the live, so I'm like, well, I changed it. There's rain coming. We moved it up at 4:30, so it's for both teams. And that's good. We get done earlier.
Yeah.
हम लोग की flight है 1:30 बजे हमारे लिए अच्छा हो जाएगा
Wireless and wired. Okay.
Yeah, this mic's zapping me the whole time.
Packing वुकिंग करे फिर एयरपोर्ट जा 2-3 घंटे जल्दी जाना पड़ेगा
Sharik, you write this down. A1 versus, well, we don't want to put A1 versus B2. Just put Freedom Fighters versus ARC, 8:30 a.m. Kings still holding. Kings are finalized, right? They're already in the semi, right? Yeah. Right? They're already in, so this match doesn't matter affect them. So it doesn't affect their position either, right? They are B1.
I believe so.
Yeah, it shouldn't affect their position, right? Just double check it. I don't want to.
Even if they lose, they'd have to lose by about 200 runs. I think.
There's 7 plus net run there.
Kings 11.
I've never seen 7 plus net.
How would we stake this on the line? Kings 11 versus winner.
Is good enough?
Something out.
Between
Combine or Incredible. Because Bolingbrook does not have a slim chance.
Kings 11 will be playing ARC. Freedom Fighters will be playing.
Kings 11. No.
Yeah.
No. ARC is in the
second spot, and if Kings remain at 1, they technically would play ARC.
All right, so the Kings 11 playing 11 for today. Sunny Sahal, Jaskaran Malhotra, Damian Ebanks, Donwell Hector, Aga Sabir, Swapnil Salvi, Neil Naveka, Jasdeep Singh, Adil Bhatti, Najaf Shah and Sunny Patel. Reminder that they won the toss and elected to bat. Sunny Sahal, I presume, is still the captain of the side. Be interesting to see if they stick with the same batting lineup. Sahal and Ebanks.
Ebanks and Malhotra.
No, it looks like a slight change. We've got.
No, Sunny. Sunny? No, he's not Sunny.
Looks like Jaskaran Malhotra will be partnering Ebanks this particular fixture.
Interesting change this, Jamie, having Sunny on their side, who's leading the charts at 169 so far. Much ahead of any of the batters that have done well in this tournament so far. Would have been an opportunity for him to make it even harder for anyone else to pursue being at the top of the chart in terms of the batting.
Do you want to read this? Yeah, it's on.
This is the Incredibles table for the lineup. Shahir Hassan at the top, Syed Hasnan, Kamran Syed, Fahad Amir, Hilal Kankashi, Jahanzeb Khan, Saqib Chaudhry, Mohib Hassan, Hamad Qurashi, Samir Khan, and Qasim Khan. Kings batter having made out to the center, taking their guards.
It's already 4 o'clock. We're late. So Ebanks got a start the other night, or yesterday I should say, unable to go on to get a score of any note. Of course, he got 50 odd not out in the first match off not too many deliveries. Jaskaran Malhotra, just the one innings yesterday, he missed out, got out cheaply, so he'll be keen, I'm sure, to bat long today.
Certainly had an exciting outing in his first game, missing out in the second. There is another opportunity for this great talent. And Jamie, given where they stand today, a win may have not been statistically related to their chances, but it's all about setting that authority and going with the flow when you've got such a fantastic 11.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we know the wicket keeper? BJ, keeper, do you know? And the first ball. And pulled away into the leg side. But there's a man stationed there, so just a single. Thank you. So 1 run straight away for Damian Ebanks, brings Jaskaran Malhotra onto strike. We know how damaging both of these players can be. Featured at various T20 tournaments all around the country. And Malhotra in particular in the last 18 months or so has scored centuries at will. Just letting that one pass. But I think he scored a double century in a T20 in Northern California 12 months or so ago, which is not a bad effort.
T20 format?
Double 100.
Almost unheard of. Double ton in a T20 format.
So he's going to allow himself some time today by the looks of it. Just letting a couple pass through to the keeper. Big shot down the ground. Knew it wouldn't be too long. Straight into the sight screen. So dead straight for the first Liberty Cup T20 maximum of this particular game. First one of the tournament for Malhotra.
What an exciting shot. Straight, timed beautifully over the bowler's head. That's an area bowlers don't like to be hit at.
Choosing to leave it alone, and in fact wide signalled by the umpire. So the first extra conceded by the Incredibles. And we've got an interesting scenario in this group in terms of the teams likely to go through to the semi-finals. And here we go again, another big shot down the ground. Hasn't gone quite as far. And in fact, the fielder running back has done a good job in preventing it from going to the boundary. They'll still run through for 3 though. Didn't quite get the timing.
Definitely more elevation when it comes to the trajectory. That's why the ball kind of died, even though falling inches short.
My mistake. They did in fact only run 2. Oh, and a swing and a miss this time, which will end the first over. 10 runs coming from it. 10 without loss. The Kings 11 winning the toss and batting first. So yeah, just going back to the interesting scenario. It's almost certain that Kings 11 will go through regardless of the result of this game, because they've won their first 2 matches, 2 from 2. They're on 4 points, sitting pretty at the top of the table. But most impressively is their net run rate, currently at 7.2118. They're playing the Incredibles right now, who currently are 1 win out of the 2 matches they've played. Combined 11 are also 1 win out of the 2 matches they've played, but they play against Bolingbroke tonight. And if Bolingbroke are able to beat them, they will also have 1 win. Should Incredibles lose this match, they will also finish with 1 win, which means we'll have 3 teams on 1 win. Yeah, amazing. And it will come down to net run rate. So Ebanks, he's been given. Looked to leave it, but suggestion that it just ran off the face of the bat.
Looked to be in 2 lines.
Certainly wasn't 2 minds whether to play it or not. No hesitation from the umpire in giving him out. The appeal was, well, they were very confident. And Damien Ebanks will have to walk back to the pavilion.
Mind you, for the online viewers that at times get a notion of no sound of a nick coming through, umpires are certainly able to hear it much, much better than us or the online viewers. And it was a convincingly given by the umpire.
Let's have a look at the replay.
Ah, out.
I don't see it.
Mark, can you do that again? Yep.
It's like Damien stood there. One more time.
Yep. That's a 9.
How can you tell from that?
It looked like it deviated a little bit.
Swapnil.
Very effective outswinger
Maybe,
right at the
batsman,
top. First over from Conran. Getting a very important wicket.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
King's first batting inning. Second disappointment inning from Damien.
And the first ball, he gets off the mark. But a good start by Syed to take the wicket with his first ball. Just drifting into the legs, looks like it's come off the equipment. Have to wait for the signal. No signal forthcoming. So another run for Malhotra. He moves on to 9.
You better come in immediately, getting off the strike.
Down the leg side, this will be signalled wide, so another extra. And just a big thanks to our sponsors. You can see the banners around the ground. Liberty Medical Centre, Pepsi, Gatorade. Appreciate their support of this tournament. Without them, we couldn't have brought you these fantastic live pictures. And good tight bowling this from Kamran Syed. The Gatorade banner in the background. Thanks to them for keeping us hydrated in the box. And another dot to finish the over, the second over. Successful one for Syed. And at the end of 2, 13 for 1 the score. So new bowl up. Qasim Khan. Digging it in about off stump.
Number 11 is B, right? Oh, number 11 is right. No, just got.
Looking for a single, but no runs on offer. And a few dot balls starting to stack up now for the Kings 11. A little bit of pressure being applied since the wicket from the Incredibles. Good cricket. And he's found a very good length here as Qasim Khan. 3 dot balls. So for the Incredibles to qualify, they've currently got the advantage of the 3 other teams battling it out for second place in the group, and that their net run rate is relatively high. So even if they lose this match, what they need to do is try and get as close as possible to make sure their net run rate doesn't take too much of a hit. Oh, big top edge. That's gone very high. It's going to fall safely. And in fact, they'll run 3 in the end.
Looked to be in the air for a very long time. Yeah, I must say Incredibles find themselves in the most comfortable of all remaining 3 in this particular group for their chances to be able to go through to the semis. Like you mentioned, they just only need to make sure that they don't lose badly if they were to lose.
Pulling this time, and again it's going to drop into no man's land. Salvi the man. Yeah, Swapnil Salvi this time. Couple of runs. And well played, just dropped into the offside. They then knew the man at point was deep enough that they could easily come through for a single. End of 3, 19 for 1 the score. Malhotra on 12, Selvi on 4. And 6 runs coming from Qasim Khan's first over.
What an exciting tournament this has been. Over 100 sixes have been hit. Mind you, the 101 was hit in the last game by the local talent Rizwan Ahmed. And we've already seen a couple in this one. And 104 boundaries as of the end of the last game.
Wow, so almost as many sixes as boundaries. And that'll be another 6. Wide long on, Selvi swinging the willow through the line. You can trust the bounce on this pitch. It's a very good one. And that's his first 6. So 2 already in this game. That means the total must be up to 102.
Absolutely, I think.
And 104 boundaries.
Batters. Absolutely.
Oh no, have we hit a boundary as well? I don't think we have in this innings. Just the 2 6s.
Yep, 2 6s only.
This time slashing through the offside. They'll just get the single though. So the early loss of Ebanks looking to be negated by this pair as they look to form a partnership. Big shot this. That's going to be another 6. Just rocked back and picked it up over square leg. Lovely shot by Malhotra. And that's the 103rd 6, so just one more, and 6s and boundary 4s will be equal.
Absolutely. And what's been really exciting to see, Jamie, is they have been hit all over the place. Across the line, onto the offside, onto the onside.
Into the sight screen.
Quite a few times.
Yeah, there's been some of the ones that are memorable for me were the ones over cover. There was actually one yesterday by the Incredibles wicketkeeper. Off the back foot over cover for 6. In fact, I think it was the first ball he faced, which was ridiculous. As we see another single into the mid-wicket region. Certainly been some amazing batting across the 3 days so far, and plenty more to come. Swing and a miss this time. That's the end of the 4th over, 33 for 1 after 4. 8.25 the current run rate for the Kings. We said it yesterday that we think they'll be targeting 220 plus. Perhaps the Incredibles a slightly stronger lineup than their opponents from yesterday, so maybe 200 would be a good target for them.
Yeah, I think so. They will back themselves up of being able to score such a big total. They have done it before. They're certainly capable to do so again. And I don't think they will spare any thoughts for taking it any easier than what they have done against other opponents previously.
As we just want to thank our sponsors. Their logos on the screen currently: Liberty Medical Centre, Pepsi and Gatorade. Big shot, and there's the 104th. And that is deep into the jungle. I think third umpire Vijay Malhotra might have to go and collect the bag of spare balls. That was a biggie. So 3 6s so far to Jaskaran. And I could tell just the way he came to the crease, the fact that he left the first 2 balls he faced, that he means business today.
Perhaps an immediate response to our wondering earlier in terms of the batting lineup change. Making a statement right off the bat. Going flawlessly at 25 off of 14 with a couple of beautiful shots.
In fact, they've found the ball, which is a very good effort. But the mood these 2 batsmen are in, it may not be too much longer before they need to pull out the bag of balls again.
Qasim going for 33 in the last game for his 4.
This time chipped into the leg side for a single.
This was good length, not allowing the batter any room, only chipping it on the onside for a single.
Good wrist work this time by Swapnil Salvi. And 2 runs. In fact, they'll get a third with the overthrow.
Sluggish effort.
Yeah, 2 players standing at the stumps, and both of them missed it.
Might have been the attempted Yorker once again, using the experience and bowling the right length, preventing batters from being able to open their arms and go with the big swing. It's well played at the end, however.
Tickled around the corner for another one. So 11 runs already off this over. That run rate is steadily climbing towards 10 and over. As this partnership starts to flourish now, it's worth 34. And another single. In fact, another overthrow. Means they get 2. So it's been a little bit messy in the field this over from the Incredibles. Against a strong batting lineup, you can't afford to give away free runs with overthrows.
You have to feel for the bowler after the first delivery. He did come back strongly, and we've seen on a couple of occasions very loose effort by the fielders, not backing up the bowler.
Full toss this time off the inside half of the bat to the man in the deep square leg. They'll just get a single to end the 5th over. 47 for 1 after 5.
Very typical start from the teams batting first that we have seen so far. Easily able to score almost at net run rate of 10 and over in the first 5, and that is what we are seeing from Kings in this game as well. $14 of the last, so definitely a very good over for Kings. Taking Swapnil to 17. It's the bowling scorecard so far. 10, 17, and 20 for Mohib, Kamran, and Qasim respectively. Mohib to continue from the far end.
Chance of a run out there if the ball had been fielded cleanly.
It's delivered quite wide too. He had to really chase it to make the connection and ended up swatting it down into the cover.
Sliced over cover point this time. Hasn't got on enough on it to get to the boundary. But they'll get 2. So Malhotra continues to score freely.
Any potential plans from the Kings side of the house, Jamie, in terms of resting Sonny or providing the rest of their strong batting unit the exposure that they will need in the semis against some of the best teams?
Yeah, I think so. Swing and a miss this time. Yorker length delivery outside off stump. Yeah, I think it's just an opportunity, knowing that they're already through to the semi-finals, to give some of the other players who perhaps haven't spent as much time in the middle as Sunny Sahal a chance to bat. He obviously had a good long innings yesterday with his 120 odd. Driving straight to mid-off. Possibly a single on offer if they'd taken off straight away, but
temperature slightly cooling off after an incredible hot and humid day earlier.
Yeah, it's nice actually. Very pleasant. Siswan is very wide outside the off stump. That was almost a double wide. Just lost his line entirely.
Happens at times, and when we have seen bowlers having a plan against a certain batsman and playing to their weakness as opposed to for their strengths, and sometimes you just get to move away way too much.
And another wide. Saw that Malhotra was looking to advance towards him, pushed it wide, but too wide for it to be considered a legal delivery.
Hurting the cause for this brilliant over that he started off with the first 4 deliveries.
Driven straight with some power. It's managed to go past the man at mid-off, and in fact it's gone all the way down to the boundary. Animated discussion between the batsmen. I think that's about Malhotra refusing to take a single earlier in the over to mid-off. And they get a single here to finish the over, which means Malhotra will remain on strike.
Was it a bum ball? I heard catch it.
57 for 1 after 6, so 9.5 the current run rate.
Kings maintaining their run rate after the first 5, finishing 6 over after being at 157 for the loss of only 1. So good batting from their end continues.
So Qasim Khan to continue. Presumably, now that we're outside the power play, the field will spread a little bit wider. Although there's still a lot of players inside the 30-yard circle. Whoa. Right up my arm. So continuing to get electric shocks in here. I just got a real beauty. Apologies if I may have said something that you're not supposed to say on air.
No apologies needed, Jamie. It's funny that we were talking about the typical hazards and some of the hazards that you have seen in your experience on cricketing grounds and coaching and commentary side of the house, but this happens to be first of this kind, and it's hurt you a couple of times, hasn't it?
It has. But I'll be okay. We'll soldier through. It's the same for everyone. Poor Julian was getting zapped left, right and centre this morning. Coming down, gets to the pitch of it, flicks it off the pad, and I think that's gone all the way.
What a beauty that was.
Another 6. So I believe we've now had more 6s in the tournament than we've had 4s.
Certainly.
Quite remarkable hitting, really.
From the entertainment standpoint and a tournament as such, I will always take more 6s over 4s, Jamie.
Absolutely.
That's what he was using all day today still. Julian was getting zapped. It's the ninth. It's not.
And that's a repeat. That's even bigger. That is deep into the jungle. Back-to-back 6s.
Could have been the case for the last ball. Call being made in from the fielder towards the umpire. As the search is made, the game will continue with yet another ball taken from the umpire's resource bag. As they look through to bring the ball back into the game that is similarly used as it is the standard of the game. Luckily, they have more than a few to choose from.
So ..66 in this over. Started pretty well for Kazim Khan. Since then, it's turned to custard.
And as a result, Jaskran perhaps only a hit away from half ton.
Anyway, some discussion between batsman and umpire. I imagine Swapnil Salvi is saying it's too old, it's soft. We had a nice hard ball to hit, and now you've given us an old one. But there's so many balls you can work with. And as per usual, we seem to be finding ways to make these games last forever. It's a replay of the shot.
Just a little shimmy down the track and a beautiful flick of the wrist.
That was the first one. Second one went even further.
Slightly unfortunate. This delay is probably going to cause the game to be delayed a few minutes more on an already delayed start. A problem that we have dealt with throughout the 3 days thus far.
And here's a replay of the second 6. That was dismissive. Swing and a miss this time. Flicked off the hip, and that should run away to the boundary. Boundary 4 this time to finish the over. 16 runs off it. Malhotra moves to 50. That's his 50, folks. Well done to Jaskaran Malhotra. Get some applause from his bench. 50 of just 27 deliveries, including 5 6s and 2 4s. It all happened so fast I almost forgot to mention it. 73 for 1 after 7 overs, and they're now going at more than 10 runs an over. So on target currently for a pretty healthy score batting first. Swapnil Selvi finally gets an opportunity to face some strike. I don't think he's faced the ball for about 2.5 overs. Janzeb Khan will have his first bowl of the evening. Just waiting for some running repairs to the wicketkeeper again. Finding reasons to delay the game. Supposed to get these matches over in 3 hours and 10 minutes. The one this morning was 4 hours.
It's an issue, isn't it?
So if there's any players listening to my voice, please try and speed things up, fellas. Makes for a much better spectacle. Oh dear, chance goes down. He picked out the man in the deep with absolute precision, hit him in the breadbasket, and it's just popped straight back out.
He did not have to move an inch, did he?
No.
Straight into him, should have been taken. A slight bend down.
And he's now been banished from that position.
Popped in and out.
Afraid the horse may have bolted. The chance came, he put it down. Good batsman will make you pay, although almost a chance again, the very next delivery.
"60 catches have been taken thus far in this tournament, Jimmy. I reckon just as many may have been dropped."
Yeah, no doubt. There's a goodie. Caught and bowled. Well done by Janzeb Khan. His fielders may have let him down, so he thought, stuff it, I'll just take the catch myself. Well done by that man.
I'm taking this luck back with me. Earlier I was talking about the number of sixes, and that comment of mine was immediately followed up with another 6, and this time happens with the number of catches.
Well, how about you mention the number of times chocolate bars have rained from heaven? Hector Donwell is the new man making his way out to the middle, so they continue to mess with the batting order to give different players a go. So the second wicket for the Incredibles, coming at a good time for them, just as that partnership between Malhotra and Salvi was threatening to take the game away from them. Dot ball as Hector finds mid-wicket. This time he gets it down the ground, and good running from Malhotra as he scampers home for a second. Again, chip down the ground, this time straight to the man in the deep, so they'll just get the 1. And that completes the over. 78 for 2 at the end of 8.
Taking a quick second to thank our sponsors, Liberty Medical Center, Pepsi, Gatorade, and of course, Cricket Clubs to provide us the live scoring for BPL's inaugural Liberty Cup T20 tournament. Jamie, earlier we were talking about these unintended delays, and I believe that no match officials or the umpires have ever wanted to curtail the game. We would almost always want to have the entertainment and games pan out per schedule and be played completed. But you're certainly at the risk of having that imposed upon you if we just don't have any improvements in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I mentioned, it just makes a bit of a mockery of the whole point of T20 is short, fast-paced action. And it makes a mockery of that by making it slow and drag out. And it's not good as a spectacle. As we see another bowling change. Short, wide, punished. 4 runs. That asked to be hit.
Slapped hard once, 1 bounce into the fence. Played with brute force.
Kankashi, the man who's come in, and we see his first delivery disappearing from the blade of Donwell Hector. Kankashi, his first over of the day. Much better delivery this time.
On that overrun rate thing, Jamie, we were talking yesterday that it's not only about the acceptability and the tolerance. It's at this level the precedence that you set with the young bowlers and that go on and big at the large stage and completely taken by surprise.
Yeah, it's a tactic. Absolutely. As this time the back cut will secure a couple of runs for Hector. And again, one short. Unbelievable. Straight to the man at mid-wicket, no run. Oh, he's managed to clip his partner, I think, on the way through.
He was down the track, played with some force, straight back into his partner, who got really lucky as he ducks down. It certainly did clip him. In the process, he was able to lose his bat. He did make it onto the other side successfully, but I believe he really did get lucky.
Yeah, he did. It was just a glancing blow, obviously, because it still travelled down to long on with some speed. And he's hit it very hard himself back down the ground for another one.
For a second there, Hilal thought he was in the play for catching it, but the ball traveling at him was quite pacey, and right off the bat he made the decision to get out of the way. Nicely done by the batter as Kings move on to 84 for 2 at the end of the 9th over, going at about 9.4. Donwell at 9 off of 7, and Jaskaran on the other side at 51 off of 2019.
So twin spin attack at the moment with Kinkashi and Khan. Big shot this time by Malhotra, looking to come down the track. Didn't quite get it, so he pulled out the slog sweep and got it right out of the middle of the bat, and it disappears into his teammates sitting on the bench. So his 6th six. This time drifting down the leg side. Looks like it came off the equipment.
Bowler
no
was
run.
half-heartedly appealing. Umpire wasn't interested.
Yeah, clearly was heading down the leg side, I think. Again, looking to sweep. Not getting a great connection. Another single.
Umpiring standards have been on the money. We saw a couple of really good leg befores given yesterday.
Oh, and he's tried to hit his partner again. Maybe there's some beef between Hector and Malhotra. Not sure what's going on.
It's a funny gesture from the batter with his hand in terms of, take me out of the picture, you keep hitting at me.
Oh, some clever bowling by Jahanzeb Khan, but he's going to concede a wide. Saw Malhotra coming, tried to slip it past him, the potential stumping. But Malhotra realised he was in trouble and got back. This time he does get to the pitch of it. That's disappeared in a similar direction as the last one. It may be even bigger. Absolutely monstrous 6. That's his 7th.
Definitely bigger. Would have been a 6 in any ground. Have to believe at least 80 to 85 meters. And the sound that the ball made as it flew off the bat was actually quite pleasing to the ears.
Absolutely, and that's the team 100 up already. 9.5 overs. Straight down the ground this time. 6 more. Just got enough on it to clear long off. And 21 runs from the over. Malhotra races to 70 of 33. 106 for 2 after 10. And a 200 plus total is certainly on the cards here this evening.
There's a replay. Didn't even look to middle it, but mighty effective. Over the hill into the far end for a beautiful 6. Quite an expensive over from Jahazaib. Kings getting to 106. And certainly at this stage, they should be able to back themselves up for getting to at least 200 because they've got 8 wickets in the bank. And we saw last night that they've got a quite a strong middle order batsman. They have been able to come in and not only rotate the strike on regular basis, but every now and then hit those big ones as well. So
as Cameron Sayed comes back for his second spell. Swing and a miss first ball.
At the moment, looking at the numbers, he is definitely the pick of the bowlers. 4 Incredibles.
Oh, and a chance of a run out if the man racing in had picked it up cleanly. Driving down the ground is Malhotra for another single. So yeah, good bowling from Cameron. All the other bowlers are getting some serious tap, but these two seem to be respecting him, just knocking him around for singles at this stage. And this will be another one.
Only 2 conceded, 2 deliveries, 3, beg your pardon, 1 delivery to go. Very effective over from Kamran, if he's able to finish this on a high.
Unfortunately, that will be a wide. You saw Jaskaran advancing, threw it wide of off stump, but 2 wide. He'll have to bowl that again and concedes an extra run. This time they're going to concede a couple. Good running. The misfield enabled Malhotra to turn around and come back for the second. That ends the over. 6 runs off it in the end. 112 for 2 after 11.
Yeah, the fuller delivery on the offside having gone bad is perhaps the ploy from the bowler, having seen what these two have done very strongly on the onside, but yet again, the margin of error is very thin when you're going to bowl one down off the offside and get it slightly wrong, and it's going to be called a wide.
So Kinkashi has switched ends. And down the ground this time, Hector. But they'll just concede 1. wild throw coming in from the deep, but he got it in the air quick enough to prevent them coming back for any more than one. Malhotra on strike now. Good full length delivery. You can only jam it down into the pitch back to the bowler. This time he goes big over mid wicket again. A little bit straighter than the ones in the last over, but same result, a monster 6. He just continues to hit them. That's his 9th to go with his 2 boundary 4s.
Onslaught continues on the onside, and extremely strong batting this. And we might be in for another ton, Jamie, this game.
As we have a look at the replay, boom, picked it up with ease. Short, and he hasn't hit it all that well, but he's hit it well enough. The fielder probably misjudged it as well. But it's another 6, and that's his 10th. So 10 6s to Malhotra. And not for the first time he's gone boom, boom and hit 2 in a row. Make that 3 in a row. Over mid-wicket, onto the bleachers. And he moves very rapidly into the 90s.
Excellent batting. 3 6s on the trot, showing a lot of intent and aggression. Jaskaran Malhotra getting to 91 in no time. Here we capture a drone from the cameraman. Not a BPL's drone, but we'll call it as such.
Could be the NSA. This time an edge. Oh, and a good effort by the man running back. Got hands to it. Oh, and in the end, Malhotra having to dive to make his crease, but he gets there safely enough. 21 runs off the over, so another big one for the Kings 11, 133 for 2 after 12.
Not only it was a good catching effort from the running fieldsman, but the throw that came back was right on point, exactly on top of the stumps, allowing the keeper to attempt a run out, but obviously he was safely home.
Who's flying that thing?
Could be causing a bit of a distraction if he's going to be rushing to feel his head.
Yeah.
Got to get that controlled.
Just throw the ball at it.
It could be a cheap call. Just come back down.
So Mohab back for his 3rd spell, I believe.
He's only got 2.
Chopped into the ground, they'll run through for a single. Yeah, Mohab's 3rd spell. He's bowled all 1 over spells to date.
Having conceded 20 off the first 2 at 10 and over, and 1 off of this so far.
And that's a big high full toss, and it has been called no ball. They'll come back for a second, and Malhotra now will get the opportunity to face a free hit. Not that he needs any second invitation to try and hit 6s, but he's now got completely free license.
Yeah, it was certainly high. Tippy-toed batter. Well played in the end.
And he lets this one go. That'll be a wide, so the free hit will carry on to the next delivery.
I think might have seen this situation on a couple of occasions when bowlers under pressure for the free hit, they actually end up going for a delivery down the leg or down on the offside.
Yeah, it does happen quite a bit. This time in Malhotra's arc, and he goes downtown. And that is 100 for Jaskaran Malhotra, and he's pleased about that. And Willie Might missed out last night with the bat, but he's come back big time today. 101 off 42 deliveries, 2 fours, 12 sixes. And it's only partway through the 13th over, so if he bats all the way to the end, who knows what he might end up with.
Massive 6 going over to the side screen, actually behind the BPL container, close to the woods. A big one.
And he knew the second he hit it, it got 100 too, so either he's listening to our commentary or is good at counting. And this is very powerfully struck, but the fielder does very well to keep it to a single.
Absolutely. A slight unlevel field down at this particular long off region. Fielder doing very well. Running across and stopping it. Judging the bounce well from the ball. Coming at him.
This time wide outside off. Not sure if there was a little under edge as it went through to the keeper. In the end, it's a dot ball. Two more balls. Two more balls.
For the over's completion, we will get that back underway. 2 deliveries remaining for Mohib's third. Given the fact that we had a no and a wide, so he'll have to come back and finish his over.
Yeah, perhaps he missed the no and the wide. As we've still got that drone hanging around. So Hector looking to head away on the leg side. Oh, the ball coming in. That's the edge of the pitch.
Yeah, and in these AstroTurf tracks conditions, the edge of the pitch can be extremely tricky for the fieldsman backing it up because you never know, it could actually come and hit you.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen it happen, in fact. Another powerfully struck drive down the ground, but just a single. 14 from the over, 147 for 2 at the end of 13. So 7 overs to go. I think score 230, 240 is on the cards from here, particularly if these two can continue, although Donwell Hector has just really been the silent partner, just going at a runner ball, just a runner ball. Meanwhile, Malhotra's going at 234 strike rate.
One thing that I noticed thus far in all of the games that we have seen in the last 3 days, Jamie, is the comfort from the batter stand of point of stand coming down the track on quite a few deliveries, trusting the bounce of the wicket.
As we take this opportunity to again thank our sponsors, Liberty Medical Centre, Your Health is Our Passion, Pepsi and Gatorade and Cricket Clubs for bringing us to the live scoring.
I wonder what the adaptation and the intuition looks like after the batters get to batch on this surface and go back to the turf wicket, because certainly wouldn't expect them to be able to come down the track so comfortably as they have done in this tournament thus far.
Samir Khan, the new bowler. Wide Yorker to begin. Full toss this time, pulled around the corner. There's no man in the deep, so they'll come back for at least 2. And 2 is all they'll get.
What an opportunity Jaskaran holds at this stage of the game. Almost 7 overs remaining. He's currently at 1 of 5. He can certainly go on to be the highest scorer of the tournament so far.
Yeah, if he bats the whole innings, he could have 150 plus for sure. He'll get another single here down the ground. Brings Donwell Hector into strike. He goes big, high, wide, and handsome down the ground over long off for his first maximum.
For a second, fieldsman thought he was in it. Gives up the coast. Travels way over his head. Into the hill. Down at the far end. Exciting shot.
And he's gone again, this time over long on. So back-to-back 6s for Donwell Hector. He's decided it's time that he contributed some big shots to this partnership as well.
Completely joining the party, joining his partner. Turning up a notch. Almost doubling his strike rate with those 2 back-to-back 6s, getting to 27 off of 18. Previous to those 2 shots, he was just nudging it around for about a run and over, run a ball rather.
This time a full toss. He'll get at least 2 here. And they'll come back comfortably for 3, in fact. Good running. And Hector will retain the strike for the next over. 14 gone now, 165 for 2. Partnership of 90 between these 2 now. It's coming quick time. So we can have a look at the bowling figures. So Kamran Syed really is the standout there. Economy rate of 7.67. Everyone else 11.3 or above. Samir Khan going for 18 in the end of his first one. And perhaps no surprise, it brought back Kamran Syed to try and break this partnership. His last over. And Donwell Hector will get a single into the offside after dancing around the crease a little bit. Standing outside off stump was Malhotra, and he's going to get a couple of runs. Complete miss hit. The keeper tried to get to it, but just couldn't quite cover enough ground. Very interesting from Malhotra, deciding to stand in a stance outside off stump and encouraging Cameron Syed perhaps to try and have a go at the stumps, opening up the leg side. This time a more orthodox stance.
Looking for a luck or two. This time advances down the track and hits it down into the onside for a single, attempted to come back for a second. A very well throw back into the bowler, restricting the running to one only.
Swing and a miss this time. Syed continues to bowl well.
Incredibles perhaps looking for a luck or two. They have certainly been up against an onslaught from the word go in this Kings strong inning of 169. Still got 5 overs to go.
Big shot this time. One bounce for 4.
Yeah, we've seen this done. We have seen this happen. They just need to keep some hope and attempt to stopping or minimally slowing down this extremely well-run flow from the Kings batter. We've got 2 batters in the center. They've got their eyes and timing set to the tee. It only takes oftentimes a wicket or two at this very interesting phase and patch of the game in this T20 format. Even at the international arena, we have seen bowling units being able to bring it back such powerfully in the last 5 and going on to be able to chase it down.
Outside edge this time, and same result, 4 runs. Certainly a false stroke though, and that ends a very good spell of bowling by Cameron Syed. A little bit of misfortune on that last delivery to concede 4 runs, but he finishes with 1 for 35 from his fort. 177 for 2, 5 overs left in this innings. So a smattering of spectators around the ground, a couple of players from the Kings 11 there. Jesse Singh, of course, US player, sitting in the chair.
I keep wanting to see what they retain in the lower batting order and pinch hitters down to the bowlers, but not to be, because their top order have been phenomenal, have they?
Yeah, well, it's still only 2 wickets down. A couple of chances have gone begging. Malhotra was dropped once, I believe. Pretty tough chance running back. Swapnil Selvi was certainly dropped once before he was dismissed.
Great job, David. Great job, man.
Thank you. And it looks like a change of bowling again at the far end. Hamad Qureshi for his first bowl of the evening. Just go in and strike, and I'm sure it'll be much the same. He'll be swinging for the fences. Strong shot down the ground, but a man stationed it long on. He'll just get the single.
Down that way, that brown concrete building.
Hector this time hitting it powerfully into the onside. And in fact, it's going to run away for 4. Thought the fielder might have been able to get across, but he found the gap very nicely, did Hector, who's really upped the ante in the last few overs, as we see that shot from the first ball of the over down the ground.
Picked the gap beautifully.
This time he goes downtown, doesn't time it, falls short of the man at long on, 1 run. This time he goes big, does Malhotra. That's huge. Went very high, so just another 6.
Yeah, too often we have seen this part-time option completely going wrong and backfiring, and that is kind of what we are seeing in this over. Already 12 conceded off of 4. 2 to go from Hamad.
Big shot into the leg side again. And again, back-to-back 6s.
This might have been the 3rd instance of the back-to-back 6s in this Kings innings, if I recall correctly.
At least 3 times, I think. And that could be the same results. It is 3 6s on the trot for Malhotra. And he's raced to 128 off 53. That's the 200 up for Kings 11 at the end of 16 overs. So 4 overs remaining.
Absolutely brutal, isn't it?
15 6s he's hit. 2 for Hector. And it looks like Qasim Khan will come back to finish his spell.
Jamie, we have been having some online and offline predictions in the last few games. I want to bring you back to that topic. Ahmed and the scoring team reminds me that this certainly looks to be an incredibly high-scoring game, especially at least from the Kings' standpoint. And we're already at 201, 4 overs remaining. I picked a bet, and like to know your thoughts.
Yeah, well, I think they'll get to 240 here. 245. Left alone outside the off stump. Must have been close to a wide. Passing car. Yep. He pulls onto the leg side, doesn't time it, he'll get a single. Donwell Hector approaching his half century. He moves to 45 with that shot. So another milestone within sight for a Kings 11 batsman.
Good start this from Qasim. Having gone for 37 already off of his 3.2.
Big shot down the ground. And the player running around couldn't get to it, and it goes for 4. Mistimed that time by Malhotra, but he got enough on it.
Full sprinting effort. Couldn't get hands on it. Getting Kings to 206.
And he's been given out, I think. LBW.
An extremely spirited appeal from the bowler, who thought he had his man. Joined by his partners slightly late into the appealing process, nonetheless given by the umpire.
So the end of a quite remarkable innings by Jaskaran Malhotra. I'm sure all his teammates and the people that are here at the ground watching will give him a hearty ovation as he makes his way off. 132 from just 56 deliveries. Unbelievable.
Bit fortunate he wasn't able to go on and actually perhaps setting yet another milestone in this BPL's Liberty Cup. He certainly looked to have an opportunity to go on to minimally 150, as we still got 3 overs to go, and the fact that both of these, Jaskaran and Donwell, were able to go and take the attack to pretty much any bowler in the Incredibles bowling unit. So certainly that wasn't going to be a concern in terms of what they had coming at them.
Sunny Patel, the new batsman. Big appeal, first ball. Not given. The umpire is unmoved. Sunny Patel certainly indicating that he didn't think he hit it. You can usually tell when a player nicks it because their head whips around to have a look at where the ball went. Patel didn't move. Perhaps it was the bat striking the AstroTurf. Another half chance, goes begging. Sunny Patel will get off the mark this time. 207 for 3 at the end of the over. And we have a replay coming up of the drop catch. I'd also like to see the replay of the one before, the appeal for caught behind. And perhaps a replay of the LBW.
Marbai, you heard that?
I did.
I'm sorry, no excuses in this production team. We are just the sort that make things happen. We don't like to hear excuses.
Certainly we have been getting under skins a lot, and they're an excellent sport. Taking all of our jokes and banters and have been able to come back and give us what we wanted.
Exactly. I'm sorry, I've got an injury in my leg. I can't stand up. And we really appreciate everything that's been going on. Production team have done a fantastic job.
Jimmy hiding.
Big shot this time from Patel. And that is out of here. Jahanzeb Khan back for his second spell. Gets met with a big shot over mid-wicket. I'd be interested to have a look back at the scorecard after this innings to see how many overs we had a 6-hit first ball, because I'm pretty sure it's happened at least 6 or 7 times.
Absolutely. Not to be this over.
He will get a single into the onside though. Brings Hector down onto strike. with a chance perhaps finally getting to his 50. But he won't get to 50 because he's walked past one and has been caught out of his crease by the wicket keeper. So the 4th wicket goes down.
And he knew right away as soon as he missed that one and heard the sound of the bails being taken off by the keeper in terms of how far down the track he was. And typically we have seen pretty much every single batter so far advancing down the track, taking their stance perhaps 6 inches down the crease. So from the get-go, after that wild heave and a miss, if you miss, the keeper will strike, and that is what transpired on that delivery.
But a good innings nonetheless by Donwell Hector, 45 off 28. And in partnership with Jaskaran Malhotra, they've made sure that Kings 11 are going to post a very imposing total for the Incredibles to chase a little bit later on this evening. No idea who this batsman is.
It's not Sunny Sohal, obviously.
Neil, perhaps?
Neil.
Very wide this time to the new batsman. Just trying to work out who the new player is.
Speaking of the wides, Jamie, there have been 119 of them thus far.
Oh my word. And that's going to be another 6. Massive shot by the new man, whose name we still yet to receive. It's not okay.
Neil. Okay.
I was right.
They're like, I think they're loaded. You just take the sample, not the first one.
Yeah.
So it looks like.
So Neil is the new batsman. And he's joined the party very quickly. It's a big 6 over mid-wicket, second ball. And he has repeated the dose. So again, back-to-back 6s. Seems to be the order of the day.
Absolute carnage. 3 6s, 2 wides, and a single off of this Jahanzeb's 3rd over. He has conceded 46 thus far. On the other side of the house, Kings at 227. Played it into the offside, lands into the no man's land while they run 2, I believe. That should finish Jahanzeb's 3rd over. Kings at 229 for the loss of 4 wickets at the end of the 18th over. Going very, very strongly at 12.72 run rate. A quick look at the batting card. Damien losing out an opportunity. Jaskaran top batter at 132. Swapnil chipping in at 20. Downwell at 45 off of 28, and currently we got Sunny and Neil at 8 and 14 respectively. So they're certainly deep. They bat deep. And here's a quick look at the bowling card. Pick of the bowler, Kamran, after 4 conceding 35. Most expensive would be Hamad for his 1 at 24. Everything else is really nothing to talk about.
Big shot. That's another one. That's the third 6. Well, sorry, it's not Neil on strike, is it? It's Patel, so that's only his second 6. And again, another over. Starts with a 6 first ball. 235 for 4. 250 on the cards here.
It's almost as if the Kings batters have heard us and trying to keep the tradition in play of 6s right off the bat off the first balls in plenty of the overs in this innings against incredible, amazing batting. Originally initially we were talking about the prediction for the finishing score, and I put my hands up that I look to be losing that bat. They are certainly going beyond than what I had originally predicted. I think they should easily, comfortably finish up at 250 plus from where they're at currently.
So I'm a full toss. And Neil running very fast, comes back for 2. Great running. Make sure his partner retains the strike. And there's been a horrible mix-up here. Neil essentially sacrifices himself.
A soft dismissal rather at this stage of the game. A massive mix-up. An easy run out on the offer for Incredibles. At last, a moment of respite perhaps. Not sure how good or how effective this may turn out to be. Too little, too late perhaps. Nonetheless, Kings at 237 for 5. They still got 9 deliveries to face. Yet to be seen in terms of what they're able to produce and take this amazing total into their bowling effort.
Jesse Singh. Another shot down the ground. Just a single brings the new man Jesse Singh into strike. Oh, that looks like a pretty good shout. Tell you what, squared him right up. Perhaps going down the leg side. And in fact, no signal coming, so we're going to have to award the run to Jesse. There we go. Leg bite. Using the base of the ball this time to lay it off backward a square. They'll come back for 2. That's the end of a successful over. 12 runs coming from it. And Mohit has finished his spell. 4 overs, none for 45. So pretty expensive. Going at 11 and a quarter an over. 1 over left. They've equalled their score from last night. They should better that now. 241 for 5.
Not discounting any Incredibles.
I've got 241.
Betting the strength, I feel they will certainly
6-2
find
wicket,
themselves
1 league by
under an incredible amount of pressure from the get-go,
Last ball was
having
1,
been put
my
against
mistake.
such a massive total to chase. There's still 1 remaining over in this Kings inning, currently at 240.
So mistake, 240 for 5. As Samir Khan back for his second spell to bowl the last over of the innings. The man who yesterday took 3 catches and an absolute specky at first slip. Jesse Singh will be on strike.
Replacement ball. No, that's a game ball. Okay.
Hang on, Jesse Singh was on strike. So they ran a leg by off strike.
Then Sunny
So
Patel
they
got
must have got 2.
No, Sunny Patel ran 2.
Yeah, see, they did run
last
2.
ball.
Last ball they ran 2.
Two runs.
So I was right.
Okay. That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said.
Played it down the ground
I should always trust myself. 'cause I'm
into
always
the
right in these situations.
long off region for a 1.
Another single to Jesse Singh here. Just keeping the scoring to singles so far in the last over. Moral victory to the Incredibles. Can they prevent them from getting to 250? Not if you bowl full tosses. That is out of here. That's a biggie. That's a very big one. Up onto the upper field. And that's the 250 up. 250 for 5. 2 deliveries left in the innings.
Absolutely smoked on that occasion. Down the ground, over the hill, behind the side screen, onto the far end. Would have been a 6 in most situation, despite the size of the boundary. And another one.
Well, it's gone high. I'm not sure it's gone quite far enough. But it's gone just far enough for another fielder to drop a sitter. Gee, we've seen a lot of drop catches today, haven't we?
Yeah, unfortunately has been a case for most games in this tournament thus far. Bowler giving a fair warning for the backing up batsman, mancating as they call it.
And this will probably be wides. Jesse refusing to run. He wants to face one more delivery.
Yeah, given what we have seen and what we were kind of expecting, despite that 6 in this over, Jamie, it's been a pretty controlled over.
Yeah, it hasn't been too bad. Big shot down the ground. That's why he wanted the last ball. He knew he could hit it for 6. So perhaps it's fitting that they finish with a 6, given how many they hit in that innings. And they end up on 258 for 5. Massive score. absolutely dominated from start to finish. Jessica and Malhotra, obviously the star of the show, but a number of other batsmen chipping in. And I will leave you, Rick, to run through the scorecards.
Thank you, Jamie. This is a quick look at the scorecard for Kings 11. Pick of the batters, Jaskaran for his 132 off of mere 56, being supported by Swapnil for 20 off of 16, followed by Donwell for his 45 off of 28, and a very strong finish from Sunny and Jesse. This is a monumental task, not only in this particular tournament. At many times, even in ODI format, teams would be backing themselves up of being able to defend this total. So in this T20 format, this being quite a task, and given the situation that we discussed earlier for Incredibles in terms of their chances for the semis tomorrow, this is actually going to be quite tough for them. Obviously, certainly doable, yet to be seen. A quick look at the bowling card for the Incredibles. Pretty much everyone on the expensive side of the house. Pick of the bowler for me, as depicted by the numbers and the stats, was Kamran for his 35 conceded runs off of 45 with 1 wicket. And 2 wickets taken by Jahazaib for his 3 given 48 at the economy of 16. So we leave you here for hopefully what should be only a 10-minute break between the innings for Incredibles to come out and bat in hopes of chasing this massive monumental total down against Kings 11. Thank you for joining us. A last quick thank you for our sponsors, for the Liberty Medical Center, Pepsi and Gatorade, and obviously the Cricket Clubs for providing us the live scores. We will see you here in no time. Thank you.
Then I got to say something. Other than that.
So I'm here with the star of the show in the first innings from Kings 11, Jaskaran Malhotra. And Jaskaran, obviously you missed out with the bat yesterday. Were you determined to put a score on the board today?
Well, I would like to thank the sponsors first for giving the players a wonderful opportunity. And obviously, being a professional cricketer, when you miss out on an opportunity, score big runs, it just, rather than impressing anybody else, it just hurts yourself because you work hard for it day in, day out. Yeah, I was very upset and I was determined to get it big today.
All right, and when did you know that you were going to have a big innings? I mean, obviously, as a batsman, you know when it's going to be your day. It feels like the ball is coming out of the middle of the bat. Was there a moment in that innings where you thought, this is my day?
Rather than focusing on a big inning, I usually focus on my balance and my head, because when my head is in position, I feel, most of the time when I get out is when I play a bad shot or my head is behind the ball. So usually I try to keep my focus and balance. When the two things fall in place, I feel it goes a long way for me.
Awesome. And yesterday you came in at first drop. Today opening the batting. Most of the time that I've seen you play in the past, you have been opening. Is that your preferred position?
Yeah, and even in India, I was opening all my time. All the first-class cricket, and there I was opening. And then because our captain Sunny Soul, he wanted a lefty-righty combination. So whatever works for the team, I want my team to win either way. I bat number 5, number 4, number 1. That's fine with me.
Awesome. Good attitude to have. Well, obviously, 250 for you guys is a pretty imposing total for the Incredibles to chase. But anything you can say about the chase? Are you guys going to do anything different than you did yesterday in terms of defending this total?
See, for me, cricket is a very unpredictable game, but still, for me, what matters is the attitude, right? It doesn't matter, even if you're playing on 150, you still run the first one hard. Even if you have 250 on the board, you still have to defend and, get the team as soon as possible. It leaves a statement for the other teams as well.
Absolutely. And you'll be taking the gloves again today?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, good luck. Congratulations on a fantastic knock. It was a pleasure to watch. And, good luck for the second innings. All right, we will be back for that chase in about 5 to 10 minutes' time. We will see you shortly. And welcome back. We're back for the chase. We've just missed one delivery.
Funny comment from America. Can't even let the guy urinate.
So Najab Shah opening the bowling. As he mentioned, Jaskaran Malhotra has the gloves. And he's tickled it away fine, has Shahir. In fact, it hasn't touched anything, it's wides. But nonetheless, it still runs for the Incredibles. Kamran Syed is the batsman at the non-striker's end.
Najaf Shah being an impressive bowler last night.
This time digs it out. Does Shahir. So chasing 259 for victory at a run rate from the start of over 12. It's a pretty tough ask.
Najaf continuing his good form. He was very, very impressive. For me, pick of the bowler last night against Bolingbroke. Close to 500 wickets for him in List A and first class cricket.
Got him. Leading edge has flown to the man at cover point. Simple catch and wicket in the very first over.
Soft dismissal, shimmy down the track, attempted on drive, causing the outside leading edge, and a very comfortable catch taken.
So a big breakthrough and a big blow for the Incredibles. Shahir, of course, has probably been their most destructive batsman throughout the tournament. Scored 98 not out to lead them to victory in their first match. Didn't trouble the scorers too much yesterday, but he did hit one amazing 6 over cover at the start of his innings. But he will not be a factor in the chase this evening, having been dismissed without scoring.
Absolutely disappointing start from Incredibles. Shahir being in the top 5 highest scoring batters in this BPL's Liberty Cup, sitting at 110 at spot number 4. Above him are obviously Sunny Sohal, Jaskaran, and Vineet from Combined Stars, who have a game coming up, by the way, against Bolingbroke in less than 2 hours, given that we are able to finish this game in time.
Thank you.
Who is it?
Ahmad Qureshi.
Thank you. So Ahmad Qureshi, the new man. Oh, and inducing the edge straight away is Sharp. Not carrying to the solitary slip though. Ahmad Qureshi also had a good innings the other night in partnership with Shahir. He'll need to do something special here today though. A big swing and a miss. Looking to go big over the onside. Cannons into his pads, and that's the end of the first over. A successful one. Only 5 runs conceded as well, so fantastic start for Najav Shah. 5 for 1 at the end of 1. Chasing 259 for victory. And already the run rate required has gone up to 3.37. As we're looking at a replay of the ball being lost in the grass. And Jesse Singh will open the bowling again from the far end. Bowled a really good spell last night. I believe he finished with 2 for 8 from 2 overs.
We're out of bread. I'm going to tell him. I don't know if you liked any of that. It was quite spicy, but
I love spicy too. So, outside off. Through to the keeper, begins with a dot ball, does Jesse Singh. And again, we're looking at the replay of the grass. Oh, short ball this time. Too quick for Kamran, beaten for pace. The ball was through him before he got in position to play the shot.
Yeah, these two have been quite impressive up at the top. The two attacking bowlers from Kings, as displayed last night.
Full toss this time, driven into the deep. Just a single, there is a man stationed out there. So it's really a case of limiting the damage for the Incredibles. They need to try and get as close as possible to this target to help their net run rate, and then they need to hope that in the next game Bolingbroke are able to knock over United. Sorry, not United. Combined. Combined and United. Same general idea. But yeah, the combined 11. If Bolingbroke can knock them over and then the Incredibles manage to stay ahead of both of those two teams on net run rate, then they will qualify for the semi-finals. Full again, clipped away into the leg side. Will probably pull up short of the boundary, but they'll come back for a couple. So just guilty of over pitching on a couple of occasions in this over is Jesse. Just looked like perhaps he's struggling with his run up somewhat. Doesn't quite have the rhythm that he had last night. That's better. Slightly hopeful appeal, but a good ball to end the over. 3-1 runs coming from it. 8 for 1 after 2.
Just a reminder, 3 definitives into the semis are Freedom Fighters, ARC, and Kings 11. Despite the importance of this game, earlier we were talking about the prospects for Incredibles and Combine to steal that 4th spot currently up out in the open for the semis tomorrow.
So the semi-finals and the final tomorrow. Just a reminder for those of you who are listening and want to tune in. First final will be at first semi, sorry, will be at 8:30 a.m. That will be the Freedom Fighters against the fourth team that we're not sure who it is yet. It will be one of Incredibles Combined 11 or Bolingbroke. Second semi-final will be at 12:30 between Kings 11 and ARC, and then the final will be at 4:30 PM live from the BPL Cricket Stadium. So make sure you tell all your friends. If you are in the area of Bolingbroke, make sure you come down to the ground to witness it in person. Oh, and he's gone straight through this time. A bit of in-swing.
Yeah, it's been a great turnout. In-ground spectators, fans online. Just a reminder, if everything goes as planned, the final and the post-match presentation should properly align with an incredible fireworks that this township throws on July 4th around 9 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. We should have an amazing view of it down at the far end, up over the hill, across from the commentary box.
Middle stump out of the ground. It always looked like happening this over. And that's about as comprehensive a dismissal as you can get. And the end of a slightly difficult innings comes to an end. Cameron struggled to get bat on ball for most of the innings.
Impressive return on investment for Kings, having drafted in a couple of the international talents. Experience of having over 500 wickets displayed to the core. Middle stumps out of the ground. A wild heave and a miss.
Have a look again from the other angle this time. Right, here it is. Yeah, a bit of swing in. He missed it by a mile. Just gave a wry smile to the bowler as he walked off. He knew he had been done.
Extremely late on that one. It's been interesting in this 2.3 overs innings of Incredibles in terms of the attempts of the slogs and heaves onto the onside, as opposed to coming down and playing the delivery on merits down the ground. Both of the wickets may have fallen prey to the similar nature that is not respecting the pace and an amazingly controlled line and length.
So Qasim Khan is the new batsman, and he gets underway straight away. Oh, into the pad this time. No leg by signalled again, so it must have been runs. And there comes the signal. Commentators and umpires working well together here today. Oh, good Yorker, but he's done very well to keep it out, has Qasim Khan.
Buffers, which wasn't happening.
Over completed. 3 gone, 10 for 2. And the run rate required is heading up towards 15. 249 further runs of 102 balls. It's getting harder and harder for the Incredibles.
As witnessed thus far, Jamie, once you let that required run rate climb into the initial innings, it's been rather tough for the batting team to come back into the context of the game.
Realistically, it was always going to be tough chasing a score as high as 258.
Yeah.
No, just one. Hang on. Last ball after the leg bye was a dot. No, actually I think it was a single. He dug out a Yorker. Yeah, it was a single. Good spotting. He caught me.
Any requests for the food? Mia has just asked me, what do you guys want?
Anything with vegetables in it. I don't care where it comes from. Don't care what it is. Spicy, no spice, whatever. Just vegetables. So Jesse Singh from the far end. And he seems to have found his rhythm now. As Sunny Sahal makes a regulation stop and the covers look very difficult. Big shot down the ground. There's no one down there, so there will be runs. And 4 of them, in fact. So, boundary to Qureshi.
First intent shown, perhaps, by Hamad and Qasim batting for Incredible. If they are to have any chance of being able to chase this massive total down. Here we go, lights on. 6:18 Central Time.
.1.4. And another good delivery after the boundary. Sure, Jesse Singh wasn't happy to concede a 4.
Hint of an awkward bounce right inside the body line.
.1.4.
Push back from the batter. Merely being able to defend it down the pitch. No score. Jesse Singh continues for his second, having conceded 5 only.
Oh, good delivery, rearing off a length. And we'll have to wait and see if it came off the bat. It did, off the gloves. Another single to end the over. 6 runs from it. Conceded 9 in total.
Quite a contrast, hasn't this been? The apprehension for playing late against the pacey attack, as opposed to what we got to see in the first 5 when Kings were batting. A lot more advancing down the track. This speaks to the experience and the pace that Kings possess.
Well, they're full of world-class players. And it's tough for a team of locals to, I guess, go out there with the confidence to really attack. But they need to find a way somehow to navigate this innings. Qureshi acknowledging Najaf Shah and his good delivery.
Similar strategy to last night's game against Bolingbroke, given the experience and the confidence of the seamers, that no change of bowling into the 5th.
Oh, great delivery. As we see a light aircraft flying past. Good capture by the cameraman.
Thank you to our sponsors for this BPL's inaugural Liberty Cup T20 series, expanding into the July 4th holiday. Liberty Medical Center, Pepsi, Gatorade, and Crib Club live for the live scoring.
Oh, nasty bouncer this time. And in fact, it's over the head of Qureshi, so has been rightly called wide. Not the tallest batsman in the world. And Najaf Shah knows that that was a fair enough call. Gives the umpire a smile as he walks past. Adil Bhatti didn't get a bat today. Interesting if he can bowl with the skill that he showed last night when he comes on for his spell.
Yeah, you have to feel for the batters. Conventional wisdom suggests when you're up against that impressive bowling experience and display that you ought to be able to see them through. But in process, you end up having the required run rate climb out of the control.
3 balls to go.
And another dot ball.
I thought even beyond the bowling attack consisting of Najaf and Jesse, they were able to bowl quite brilliantly against Bolingbroke last night. Another shorter delivery onto the offside, no connection made by Hamad against the pace. An impressive over continuing from Najaf, having conceded only one, which was off of a wide delivery. One delivery to go. Should be able to finish up his 3rd over, having conceded less than 10 runs in a T20 game.
And he lets it go, adding for 2 after 5. Required run rate now is at 16. As we have a look at the bowling figures, 2 for 8 from 3. Najaf Shah, he's been spot on. Even the one wide that he conceded in that last over was still a very effective delivery, just to unsettle the batsman. Jesse Singh hasn't quite been as tight. He's bowled a couple of over-pitched deliveries that have gone for runs, and one length ball that got hit down the ground by Qureshi for 4, but he's in general been very good, only conceding 9 from his 2, and he will continue from the far end. And this one wide of off stump, wide enough to be called wide.
As a chasing skipper in a T20 game, you would take this number any given day, especially when you're defending a total, allowing only 19 at 3.8.
Chipped up into the air. Catch taken comfortably by the man jogging back. I think is Adil Bhatti at mid-off. Yes, it is.
Running back, reverse cup and play, comfortably taken. Seen far many of these attempts not coming to fruition. Not to be this time. Kings bowlers continuing to make the inroads.
Here's the replay of the catch. Outside off, looking to slash away. Bhatti making some room to his left, making some ground, I should say. Settled under it comfortably.
Goes back to what you mentioned, Jamie, yesterday in terms of the strategy. When it's a run back, go for the reverse. If you're running forward, go for the traditional pouching.
Exactly right. It's in the coaching manual. And the new batsman with the bright green pads on, we'll have to get his name as it comes to hands.
Batsman name, please. Batsman name.
It's rather unfortunate for Najaf to be not in the top 5 bowling stats. Currently, Jazeeb from Incredibles, Vijay topping the charts from United at 7 and 6 apiece. But man, has he been incredible.
Who's the batsman?
Hilal.
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 Kankashi. So Kankashi is the new player. And set the non-strikers end while Krishi gets another couple.
Required run rate climbing to 16.23 and over. Never easy.
Oh, bit of pace this time. Still climbing as it thudded into the gloves of Malhotra. Yeah,
One for the over.
Yeah, it was a beauty too. When you're partway through the 6th over and this team still requires 238 to win, you know you're doing pretty well. That's crazy. Short again this time, not quite the same venom in the delivery, but same result, and that unable to be scored off.
Second time on the trot, nowhere near the line of the ball. Wild heave and a miss, an attempted drive onto the onside, but the stance of the batter and the pace and the line of the bowler doesn't allow the strikers to get away at all.
Oh, he's hit direct, and he's been given direct hit from a man with number 88 in his back coming in. We'll have to get who that is.
Your cable? Yeah. Cable we might have.
What's the fielder?
Fielder name. Fielder name.
No.
Fielder name.
That one?
Thank you. Donwell Hector.
Thank you.
Incredibles 3 down for a mere 21. I beg your pardon, 4. Towards the end of the 6th over. Making it extremely hard for their middle order and lower order batsmen to come out and attempt to chase this monumental task. Still remaining 238 off of 14.1 at the rate of 16.8. Hamad currently at 9 off of 20. Strong partnership of bowling attack between Najaf and Jesse, proving it extremely hard for Incredibles batters to go on and about this chase.
Thank you.
Saqib Chowdhury is the new man, joining Qureshi in the middle. I had that as over. Yeah, I got that.
Wide wicket to dot wicket.
That's what I got.
Wide wicket to dot wicket. So it's
Alright. Top edge, that's going to go for 4. So a false shot produces a boundary to end Jesse Singh's 3rd over. A successful one for him. 2 wickets for the team in the over, and he's got figures of 1 for 16 from 3 so far. 25 for 4 at the end of 6. And just to give you an indication of how far behind they are in the chase, the Duckworth-Lewis par score at this stage would be 96. They require a further 234 runs from 84 balls at a run rate of basically 17.
And what confidence should the Kings team get out of this last game before the semis, having put on a score on a scoreboard that has been the first of the series at 259.
Adil Bhatti into the attack. Oh, and he's hit Qureshi on the helmet, first ball.
No let up from Kings bowlers, even with this bowling change. Adil is starting off extremely well, carrying on in the great work that has been put in by Jesse and Najaf.
Big shot. It's connected this time with the hook. Might pull up short of the boundary. No. It has in fact gone for 4.
That's the intent. That's the need of the hour from Incredibles. For these two, Hamad and Saqib, to go on and make it count. We have been talking about their prospects and chances for them to be able to get through into the semis. If they can get this chase somewhat close to what the winning target may be. We have 1 game remaining, which is up in the air.
Oh, that's a better line and length from Bhatti. Don't bother mucking around with the short stuff. We saw how good he could be when he pitches the ball up, moves it away from the right-handers last night. The combined 11 could hardly lay bat on ball. This time strained down the leg side.
Good comeback from Adil after that 4, followed up by a wide delivery.
Big top edge this time. And in fact, it's gone all the way for 6. Top edge for 6.
They will take him regardless of how they come. It was a wild swing. An outside leading edge going all the way for a 6 into the third man region from Hamad, who gets to 19 off of 24. not nearly at the strike rate of where he needs to be, or where he would like to be rather, in this chase.
Oy. Almost another run out. And an awkward tumble from the fielder running in. Neil did well to pick up the ball and shy at the stumps, then slipped. Wonder if the dew is already starting to come down here, or maybe it's just the grass is a bit slipperier on the turf block. Result in the end is a single. So pretty expensive over there from Adil Bhatti, 12 runs conceded. The end of 7, 37 for 4, the Incredibles. Further 222 runs required off 78 balls.
Currently game swinging fastly in favor of Kings, although this has been a really good over for Incredible, the last one that is, from Adil, getting 12 off of it in his first. Saqib on strike. At the start of the 8th over. Neil coming into the attack. Good turnout, spectators, local players. I recognize few faces. Rizzi having batted well for ARC, causing them to come back and qualify for the semis tomorrow after their unfortunate first loss yesterday. It's a team that is consistent. It's a team, rather, that is completely based on local talent. 0 international players. And they will be playing their hearts out tomorrow.
So a big shot by Qureshi, first up off the bowling of Neil, just awaiting the signal, and it's gone for 4. This time knocking it around the corner. I'll just get the single. And here's a replay of that 4. Another single, this time for Chowdhury. Stepping right across the stumps is Qureshi to knock it into the leg side. And that's the end of Neil's first over. 44 for 4. No, that's over.
For the sake of an interesting contest,
Dot 411.
doesn't appear to be the case for Incredibles to have a trick up their sleeves of having the right intent
411.1.
and right attitude against this chase, but as we discussed earlier, they will be 100% cognizant of the fact that they need to not lose this game by a massive margin for them to have a chance based on the last game tonight for the prospects of the semis.
Big shot this. Certainly gone high, but I suspect it's going to stop short of the boundary. It does. They'll come back for 3. Good running.
Good work this by Neil and Adil, following up on what Jesse and Najaf put up at the beginning of the innings.
Certainly, although Qureshi and Saqib Chowdhury trying their hardest to get some momentum in this innings. Another good drive down the ground. Powerfully struck. Good stop by Najaf Shah. Keeps the scoring to 2.
In this chasing display, Jamie, I got a chance to talk to a couple of the Bolingbroke players that are very close to these local players that Incredibles have in their stack. And they felt that Shahir is the guy that they're mostly reliant on, and kind of agreed into what we have seen so far.
Yeah, realistically, if they were to have any hope of getting close, they needed him to get a big score today, but unfortunately, he was dismissed early. Smash down the ground. It's a man in the deep.
Powerfully struck. Finds the fielder. No signs of moisture of the dew. Outfield continues to provide a nice price and the return for these shots.
End of another over, 6 from it. And 50 for 4 at the end of 9. 19 runs and over required from here. 209 runs off 66 balls.
Yeah, when your second change bowler comes in as a skipper of a chasing side and only concedes 6 runs into the 9th over, that's hardening, that's supporting the cause, as well as the good work put up right up front by the attacking bowlers from Najaf and Jesse. 10th over continues. Played onto the onside and comfortably taken into the mid-wicket region. You could argue whether the shot was on, but when you're batting against this massive total and having to go at 19 and over, you will absolutely go for shots like these.
Who took the catch?
Unfortunate for the batter. Here goes the replay.
Who took the catch?
Down on one knee. Swiping it across onto the onside, but picking out the fielder with precision. An easy catch for the dismissal.
Was it Saqib or Hamad?
Samir Khan, the new
Saqib goes for 8. Samir Khan coming in at number 7.
Samir Khan. So Neil strikes.
Thank you.
5 wickets down now. And working it into the leg side is Qureshi. Certainly his favoured area of the ground to score. We talked about it a couple of days ago.
So much so that he will walk across the stumps and try to play a wider offside delivery onto the onside.
Yeah. And if you have a look at the way he grips the bat and also his back lift, you can tell straight away that that's where he's going to hit the vast majority of deliveries.
Not discounting any of the low order batsmen the Incredibles may have coming up. Defended right down the pitch for no score. But if they were to have any chance, Hamad is going to have to go on and get a big score.
Very big. Remember that even if they lose, they've still got a chance of qualifying if their net run rate is sufficiently high, but currently they're not doing themselves many favours. At 52 for 5, with still a further 207 runs required, they need to get as close as possible.
Dab down on the onside of the back foot. Stopped within the 30-yard. Really good over this. Continues. According
End
to
of the
our
over.
count.
52 for 5 after 10.
Incredibly hard task on hand for Incredibles batters to go on about this chase. Nearly 20 and a half and over. Knowing that they probably only have 2 known batters after they get exposed for the tail-enders.
So Samir Khan on strike. Dilbati called for a wide. Punched into the offside. And they'll just get the one. Good fielding by Sunny Patel on the boundary.
I'm not sure. Open in the outfield. Should make it exciting semis and finals if batters get more pushes out of their shots.
Swing and a miss this time from Qureshi.
Once again, statistically speaking, perhaps shorter deliveries being the most effective throughout the tournament.
Slower delivery this time. Again, working it into the leg side. Sure, his wagon wheel would be interesting. Qureshi. Everything through square leg, mid wicket. Anywhere between mid wicket and backward square leg. Again, jammed down on by Samir Khan, and they'll come back for a couple this time. Nicely played.
Going at 5.34.
Confusion in the running. There was always a single there.
Should have been taken, sent back by the non-striker. Pressure building up. Required run rate going past 22 for the first time in this Incredibles innings. Currently sitting at 57 for the loss of 5 wickets. Adil continues. Defended off the back foot for no run. Adil finishing his third. Good over. He's gone for 23 for no wickets. We are into the latter part of the innings for Incredibles in this chase. Having 11 completed, 9 to go, needing 202. And you would say that 202 even from 20 in this format would be quite a task.
Yeah, absolutely. A little low from 9. So Neil will continue.
There's coffee or something.
Oh, good effort by Malhotra to get to that.
Has he got a food?
Apparently he's bringing the food too.
Okay.
So 58 for 5, still over 200 runs required.
Neil and Adil have been absolutely on point. Wide delivery conceded, given as wide. 2 off the over thus far. Shimmy down the track, cuts it into the cover, and well taken by the fielder. Incredibles losing their 6th. Having been all over the place in this chase against the reputable Kings.
So E. Banks taking the catch on that occasion. As we have a look at the replay. A little bit hard to see what happened there, but obviously travelling quickly to Ebanks, and he plucked it just above the turf. Thanks once again to our sponsors, Liberty Medical Centre, Pepsi, Gatorade and Cricket Clubs, for all of their support this inaugural Liberty Cup T20 tournament. .12 gone, 61 for 6. Looks like Ebanks will be coming in to have a bowl.
Jamie, how regular has he been in terms of the bowling display in international arena? I don't recall.
Not sure, to be honest. No, he certainly does bowl in tournaments around the country, and I'm sure he does in his home leagues. I can't remember actually having seen him bowl live myself before.
Such is the affordability that the chasing side will have, rather defending side, when they've got the opponents completely locked down and stuck, causing them to be up against a required run rate of close to 25 and over. They can certainly go on to have a part-timer into the attack. First one down to the leg side. Wide signaled.
Take that off. It's not displaying very well. Take it off.
Put us back on the main screen. We're okay with the stats.
Looks horrible.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Two more taken onto the offside. Beg your pardon, onside. Good length delivery played into the point region off the back foot for a single from Jazaib.
Yeah, wide 2 and 1.
Wide 2 and 1 so far in this over.
And he's got him. Little edge through to the keeper. Jahanzeb Khan will have to go. And the bowling change has worked. So Ebanks may not have contributed too much with the bat today, but he's come on and taken a wicket in his first over.
Kings can wrap this up if they're able to take the remaining 3 wickets They have, from the word go, got their opponents on the back foot, absolutely never allowing them to be back in this chase. Here's a quick look at the Incredibles betting card. Openers failing, followed by Hamad, currently at 35 off of 39. Qasim gone for 3. Hilal run out for duck. Saqib, Samir, Janzaib all going for single-digit scores.
Safar Amir is the new batsman. He'll be on strikes straight away.
Damien continues with his medium right arm pacers.
Swing and a miss to not in the over. 1 ball left. And again, beating the outside edge. So a good first over from Ebanks. Takes the wicket. Concedes just the 4 runs. 65 for 7 at the end of 13. 194 further runs of 42 balls. So victory, as it has really been for some time, is beyond the realms of possibility. But they must try and get as close as possible. Another bowling change, Donwell Hector from the far end. Leg by is the signal. Donwell Hector has already contributed nicely to this performance by Kings 11. Got 40 odd with the bats and also executed a good run out. It's going to concede a run here. This over, leg by .1. Leg by .1 and now wicket. So a wicket, LBW, Hector making a breakthrough, and that's the end of Qureshi, by far the most successful batsman for the Incredibles. He's dismissed for 35. Just 2 more wickets required for Kings 11 to wrap this up. If they can get them in the next 5 minutes, then this match will actually finish on time, which would be a minor miracle.
New batsman name, please. New batsman name. Thank you.
Syed Hasnain.
Yep.
Thank you. Just having a look at that replay. Looked to be pretty adjacent. Hit him on the back foot right in front. Oi! And a direct hit would have had him miles short.
Down onto the long side, signal is wide rightfully from Donwell, who has conceded 4 thus far. Last delivery remaining. Another downside delivery hitting him on the pad, completely outside the line. Half-hearted appeal, rightfully given as a not out, with a smile on the umpire's face. So that completes 14th over from Kings. Incredible, currently sitting at 68. They only have 2 wickets remaining in hand, requiring 191. So almost out, done and dusted, but based on the discussion earlier, they might still be wanting to an attempted onside drive. Too late on that delivery. Fahad off of Damien, resulting in no run. An effective pull into the onside, riding on top of the delivery for 1. 1 for the over given, as our cameraman captures this beautiful shot of Adair running in the backdrop. Another pull into the onside. This should go all the way to the fence.
Well, he hardly hit that. Just a gentle flick onto the leg side, and it went all the way to the boundary. Good piece of timing by Hasnain.
Another one into the onside for a single this time. Six taken so far in this 15th over off of Damien by Syed and Fahad, taking them to 74. Defended back down to the bowler. Here we go with the replay of this effortless flick. Time to perfection. Bowler in the deep having no chance to make the chase. Another flick off the back foot into the onside for a single. That's the problem that the Incredibles batters have faced throughout this inning, that the run rate that they've gone at has been consistently hovered around 5. And from the get-go, when you're up against having to chase it down at 11 or 12 and over, if you're going to stay at 5, you're certainly completely writing yourselves off.
Yeah, realistically, as soon as they lost Shahir, the chances of winning the game was over. But surprised they haven't scored a few more, to be honest. Oh, good grab. held on to it. Sunny Sahal, bit of a juggle, but ends up hanging on. The end of Fardamir.
As a result, Kings only 1 wicket away from getting Incredibles out of their misery. Finishing up this game, winning by a massive total. Let's see what kind of defending tactics we get to see from the last pair in the center, having 4.5 overs remaining. In hindsight, this only helps the cause for this management team to go about and get the last game started in time, perhaps, if this is going to get wrapped up earlier than expected. Going back to the point you made, Jamie, about Shahir, as I was mentioning, I was talking to some of the Bolingbroke players after them having seen what transpired of Incredibles against Combine, rowing on the fact that had they been able to get him out, they were certainly going to go on and win the first game. Such is the reputation that they've got for Shahir. Once again, thanks to our sponsor, Liberty Medical Center, Pepsi and Gatorade, and of course, Cricket Clubs to provide us this wonderful live telecast here and online. Back to the game. Donwell continues for his second, having picked up 2 wickets, conceding only 2 runs. Talk about that for numbers from a 5th or 4th bowling change. This one sent down the leg side, should be given as a wide, signal as wide by the umpire. Shouldn't matter at this stage of the game, but Kings, having dominated this game from the word go, should be wanting to look to finish this game as soon as possible. Another swing and a miss from Mohib, who is number 11 for Incredibles, wearing number 7. He's number 11 player. Dabs it down into the short cover. A dot delivery. Placed it off the back foot into the gully region for a single. Sent down to the leg side. Might have got a little bit of the wood on it into the fine leg region for a 1. One delivery remaining in this Damien's second over, only conceding 3 for a wicket. Had there been a slip in place, this should have been taken comfortably. Damien inducing a very healthy edge. Donwell, beg your pardon. While Syed and Mohib run 2. So here we go, end of the 16th over from Donwell. Conceding 5, taking a wicket. Incredibles sitting at 80 for 9. 4 overs to go. Kings should be looking to wrap this up rather quickly. Let's see if the last pair causes any frustration and go about finishing up this inning all the way into the 20th over. Samit Patel comes into the attack. 17th over. 3 slips taken. Wrong line when you got 3 slips taken.
Almost bowled around his legs.
Hint of a test game. Such a wonderful sight this in this format, when the defending side has a liberty to have such an attacking field with 3 slips. Haven't been seen thus far in this tournament.
Leg slip, 3 slips, a gully, short cover. Oi.
The wry smiles and of all of the Kings players speaks to the situation that they find themselves under, completely having dominated in this game against Incredibles. Played it onto the onside for a single. There is only one fieldman patrolling the long off region. Everybody else seems to be inside the circle. This was scooped up down towards the fine leg region, going past behind that short leg field while they run a single.
So they survive the Sunny Patel over, sorry. Neil will bowl from the far end. It is Sunny Sahal, in fact. Hardly been involved in the match today. Sunny Sahal, he let everyone else bat ahead of him. Finally giving himself a bowl. Little gentle leg breaks. Very friendly bowling. They come back for a couple.
देखो देख के जल्दी बताओ कड़म पर देख आप देखो तो अच्छा बात है
Getting a little bit of turn here.
बाद में देखेंगे
Swung away into the deep.
We can take the squats. Yep. Toss and squats. We can do that. So that we can start early. Just give it to the teams. Both teams are here. Anyways. So we can start early.
Maybe soon. Yeah, thanks. Big shot down the ground. 6. What's that? Let's have a look at this replay.
ग्राउंड की बात नहीं चल रही, वो लाइन के बाहर है अंदर है, वो देख रहा है। दिख रहा है? नहीं रिप्ले आ जा रहा है यहाँ, पब्लिक को नहीं दिख रहा, उसलिए बोल रहा हूँ। और एक सीरीज।
Back-to-back sixes to end the over. And they might get to 100 here, 99 for 9. 2 overs remain.
Yeah, loss caused this. Some rare neat numbers displayed on our screen in terms of the recorded run rate from the last two. They're going to have to go about 80 and over to be able to chase this down at 160. Statistically impossible.
And you need to score 80 and over, and you just let it pass outside your off stump. Interesting tactics. Big swing into the leg side, and that is it. That's the end of it. Only 13 minutes overtime, so not too bad. The final catch taken, I think, by Neil in the deep.
Caught by player name please, caught by.
7:30 in 7 minutes.
Thank you.
Here we go. Quite a predictable contest. We would have
99.
absolutely loved to see more of a fight, but this was an absolute blowout, a walk in the park, comprehensive victory for Kings, having defeated Incredibles by 160 runs.
Quick look at the bowling figures for Kings. Najaf Shah, very impressive at the top, 2 for 8. Jesse Singh, 1 for 16 from 3. Adil Bhatti, none for 23. Neil, 2 for 13 from 3. Ebanks got a wicket. Donwell Hector, 2 for 7 from 2. Sunny Patel ended up with 1. And Sunny Sahal got smashed to all parts. 1 over, none for 15. But a comprehensive win, as Ricky said. And Kings 11 will go into the semi-finals. Heavy favourites to advance to the final as well. So it was our pleasure bringing you coverage of this, the second match of the third day, the Liberty Cup. We've got one more match later on tonight, coming to you in approximately 35 minutes' time. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Liberty Medical Centre, Pepsi, Gatorade and Cricket Clubs. And we will be back in about half an hour to bring you the final match in the round robin this evening. I'm here with victorious skipper Sunny Sahal. And Sunny, I spoke to you yesterday after your team had amassed 241. I must admit, I didn't think I would speak to anyone scoring more than that. You guys put up 259 today. Magnificent effort by the boys.
Yeah, it was good. We need in every match we have some total in the mind, at least 200 with our batting lineup. So we just in these matches right now we have to set up the momentum for the 200. So we have some motive to when we go to the bat, when we meet in the team. So we have a target for 200, and we try to.
Well, you got it easily today, and obviously a fantastic innings by Jasker and Malhotra today. The other day it was you scoring 120. It must be nice as a skipper knowing that you've got guys capable of going out there and getting those big hundreds to be the backbone of your innings every time.
Yeah, actually, yesterday he was a little down, so we promote him to go up, and he's the opener, so now we have a good batting. So he's we need him to confidence in the big games. Big games are coming, so that's our moting. So now he's doing today he's played very well.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's been good the way you guys have rotated your batting order. Basically, all of your batsmen have now had a decent innings of sorts, so you'll certainly go into the match tomorrow with confidence. But just from the other side of things, the bowling side of things, how did you feel it went today?
We scored 241 and 251. So sometimes Najaf Shah, we have a good bowler, Jasir Singh, but today we try to make them get them out before 100, but we are just we just try to be. Other teams should be more before 100, get them out. So yeah, we have good bowling lineup. So that's why we try some couple of bowlers today. So it's good,
Yeah, well, awesome. Congratulations on another fantastic effort. Good luck for your semi-final tomorrow, which I think is at 12:30. And it was again a pleasure watching your team perform today. So well done. So that was the captain, victorious captain Sunny Sahal. Another magnificent performance from his team, the Kings 11. They will be in one of the semi-finals tomorrow at 12:30 back out here on the BPL cricket field. So make sure you tune in for that. And make sure you tune in about 30 minutes' time. We've got one more game this evening. Stick around. We will be back in about 30 minutes with more live cricket action from BPL cricket field, the Liberty Cup 2017.